Well, that puts a wrap on our on-course lessons. So the first thing we talked about today was the opening tee shot,
Mm-hmm.
some of the nerves and the anxiety that we face, that everybody faces. You're not alone. So adjusting our mind, getting the mindset different. Don't try to hide it, embrace it. We talked about the routine, going from the driving range, hitting that very last thing you do in your warm up session is hitting that first tee shot, so you know you can do it, and you go to the first tee and you just repeat it. All golf is muscle memory and just repeating golf shots. Then out in one left rough on hole number one, we worked on hitting the low shot. Right, we made a poor decision there on club selection,
Yeah.
so that just takes time. Learning how low. Sometimes you're going to catch jumpers out of the rough. They're going to jump up in the air. But the big thing is just learning on like what our priorities are, right? We have to get it past that tree. We cannot make bogey. We cannot make double. That's an easy way to lower your scores by just managing your priorities when
Yeah.
you're hitting certain golf shots. Hole number two, we were in that left fairway bunker. We made a mistake off the tee. We brought three different club options: the aggressive, kind of the aggressive layup, and then kind of the real conservative layup. So one of the things that I showed you to do is put the club down before, so you can kind of get a read on loft to see if that thing's realistically has a chance to get up and out of it.
Yeah.
We made the right club selection on that one. We hit 6 iron. It was an aggressive layup, but it gave ourselves an opportunity to get down there to stuff a wedge and make birdie the hard way. Number three, we knocked it over the green. We were in that collection area, which was a good opportunity for us to kind of showcase some of the different options that we have out here around the greens. So we had the putter route, which our first one we didn't get all the way up the hill, which is why we kind of incorporated that new shot for you, which is putting with a fairway wood.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more pop, gets it through the fringe, gets us up onto the green. Like I said, it's kind of a little bit more, a little less conservative than a putter, right?
Sure.
And then we got what you're good at, which is wedges, right? So get a wedge in our hand, that's kind of more of a standard shot. And then we tried the bump and run, which is a little bit more aggressive, a little higher risk, but big reward, right?
Sure.
And we talked about how relative, how all those shots are relative, and it all depends on the circumstance you find yourself in during your round. So it's all about learning on when to use those things. So that's kind of a wrap. The big thing is course management, strategy, figuring out when to do certain things. A few things I would like you to work on moving forward are some of these more like specialty shots. It's hard to find those on the range, like hitting low ones. So you almost just have to imagine tree limbs or maybe find windy days where you can really work on hitting low shots. And the spin on the golf ball, especially when you're into the wind, will tell you, you know, trajectory wise, if you're hitting the correct shot
Yeah.
with the right trajectory, right? And I think around the greens, the short game area, it's a fantastic place to go mess around with a lot of these shots. Like you said, that putting with a 3 wood is new to you. So
Yeah.
make
Never done
sure
that.
throw 10 balls down in some of the lower spots there around the putting green and hit some putts with that thing. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll feel with it, and you'll actually find yourself in a lot of rounds, in places where you actually will want to use it.
Yeah.
And then the fairway bunker shot. We do have that fairway bunker out there, which is a good option on our driving range. And I want you to challenge yourself on grabbing one club, but every time you hit a shot, move about 6 inches to a foot closer to the lip.
Yeah.
And do that with multiple clubs so you kind of get an idea of what you're capable of. There
Yeah.
might be certain times during your round where you need to get that 8 iron to the green, but that 8 iron looks like it might touch lip. So you need to learn how to be able to make that 8 iron get over that lip and also get it all the way to the surface. So those are the kind of the few things I want you to work on before the next lesson, and I think you're gonna be in a good spot.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time out here.
Yeah.
Um, I appreciate your wisdom. I do have a question on shots back here when we were talking about that shot behind hole three. If you do see yourself short sighted, and like I said, I had trouble with that last shot that we tried with bumping it kind of into that hill. Do you ever see yourself in an area where you kind of almost open the club a little bit more and try and promote bounce again, kind of like the first chip shot, but try and get it higher in the air and allow it to land softer? Is that purely based on how the greens were in the first couple holes and how you think they'd react?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's all about reading. I mean, you have three. If you do that on the very first hole, you're not quite sure unless it's a course that you're very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But you have no clue what those surfaces are going to be like. The big thing is the lie. Sometimes the lies are going to dictate what you're able to
Yeah.
do. So if you have yourself a nice perfect lie, it definitely opens up the possibilities for a lot of different options. But it's all what you're comfortable with. Like, I mean, I always when I'm with people with lessons or see people out playing on courses, they try to hit shots that they've never even tried before in the middle of a round, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a shot that you've never pulled off or you can't pull off, then we probably shouldn't be trying
Yeah.
it.
Try and
If,
make
if
par.
yeah, if you're not a guy that can hit the low zipper into the hill and control that trajectory with a high lofted wedge, then it's probably not a shot that we're not going to hit in a round without practicing it,
Yeah,
right?
it's definitely something to practice. And
Yeah, I would say most of the time, that generic chip shot that you hit, I think that was our third shot, maybe.
mhm.
Um, that's going to get you around every single green 95% of the time, right? It's those 5%, ones where, it just takes a little bit of creativity and some practice around the greens during your practice sessions that gets you more comfortable in hitting those shots. It just adds things to your arsenal that you didn't have before, which might save you a few strokes during the round.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much.